arsenal in the fight against COVID-19 has just levelled up with some powerful new weapons. Paxlovid from Pfizer and Molnupiravir from MSD are both oral antiviral treatments that interfere with COVID's ability to reproduce.
They'll be prescribed by GPs. They're targeted at those who are most at risk of moving from mild illness or moderate illness to serious illness.
Both pills are taken every 12 hours for 5 days from the onset of symptoms, reducing admissions to hospitals and ICU as well as death. The TGA has also given provisional approval to the long-awaited Nuvaxovid vaccine from Novavax. Large-scale trials revealed the vaccine, which is delivered in 2 doses 21 days apart, has a 90% efficacy against mild, moderate and severe disease, with no signs of adverse effects.
The approval is for a primary course, in other words, the standard first 2 doses of vaccination.
Which means we'll have 51 million doses of a vaccine that can't currently be used as a booster, in a population where almost 90% of eligible people have had at least 1 dose of another vaccine.
There is interest in potential for Novavax being used as a booster or even in adolescents or as a paediatric dose. As soon as we get that data, we will review it as an absolute top priority.
And finally, there's heparin, a cheap, safe, widely available blood-thinning drug that, when inhaled, can spare COVID patients from lung-damaging scars and keep them breathing easily.
These patients then started improving quite rapidly, and the treatment was given on average for 6 days to these patients in hospital.
Well, Dr. Paul Griffin worked on the trials for Novavax and he joins us now. Great news all around, Paul. We have more things in our arsenal, I guess, to use. But if the Novavax vaccine can't be used as a booster, why have we got more than 50 million doses coming in?
Yeah, that Novavax vaccine started its clinical trial journey. I ran those trials in Australia back starting on the 26th of May 2020. I've watched closely its development and it's been great to see it finally approved based on lots of good data to show it's both safe and effective. And it has indeed been approved for a primary vaccination first, but that really reflects how the clinical trials have been done. There's lots of other trials underway looking at its use as a booster and also in other populations, including in children, as well as even trials happening with it combined with other vaccines. So I think those approvals will expand to us being able to use it for lots of other things in the future.
Will it mean that we just hold on to it until, we're going to have so much spare right now. Does it last?
Oh, absolutely. One of the other benefits of this vaccine is it's quite stable, even at standard refrigeration temperatures for 9 months. And I also expect we won't get all of those doses straight away. They might come in smaller aliquots over time.
So anecdotally, we've been hearing that some people who aren't vaxxed yet have been waiting for Novavax. Why is that?
Look, I think it's complicated and I think there's many reasons some people haven't wanted to take up the safe and effective vaccines we've already had available, and it's great that we now have another option for those people. So really now there's a vaccine option, I think, for everybody, and I'd certainly encourage anyone who was waiting for Novavax to go and get it at your first opportunity.
So, Paul,
sorry,
Kate. These treatments for those who already have COVID sound great, but are we going to get them in time to help sufferers and hospitals in this current wave?
Look, it is great to have some oral therapies available that are really going to change what happens to people at high risk in the community, provided they're given early on. And, it's clear that we're at a stage right now of intense transmission, and perhaps we are at or near the peak of that curve now, but it's not going to go away on the other side of that curve. And now having a therapy we can give easily to people out in the community to reduce their risk of severe disease and needing to go to hospital will be of enormous benefit moving forward.
Doc, the potential long-term effects of COVID, like lung scarring, are really scary. Does the heparin discovery mean that we now don't need to worry about that?
Look, it does look like, great science, a really good discovery. Of course, it's early days and we need to do bigger trials to prove that effect. But, what's really clear is we have great vaccines. We're getting more and more therapies, both direct antivirals and other medications like this that have other properties that will really help us. So, our ability to control this infection is certainly improving at a rapid rate.
Just going back to the Novavax before we let you go, Paul, what is the difference in how it works?
So this is considered by many to be a much more traditional approach in terms of how a vaccine is made. So this is where we actually make the protein in the laboratory. We've got a few vaccines we've already been using that are based on similar technology. So I think that perception of a more traditional approach has given a lot of people some comfort with this vaccine. And again, I'd encourage all those people that have been waiting for it to go and get it as soon as they can.
Dr. Paul Griffin, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.